everybody, it's Devel Miller, and today I'm going to be talking about something a bit different on this channel. Now, I used to have an iPhone before, and this is the first one that I had, the iPhone 3GS. Yes, I know the screen is cracked. I had dropped it once on the sidewalk running, so that's how it happened. See the front and the back. And before, and after I've been done using the iPhone 3GS, my next smartphone was the iPhone 5S, which is this one that I have here. Front, back, see it. And the phone, and I don't use that iPhone 5S anymore. The new phone I have now is the LG Stylo 3, which is an Android. See that? It's really cool what I can do with this phone. And in this video, I'm going to tell you as to why I pretty much had to leave iPhone altogether and why I used the Android phone that you just seen. Now, I remember back then where they had like the iPhone advertisements. The purpose of owning an iPhone, really phones in general, was the fact that, well, if you just had a phone, you could talk to your friends on there and stuff like that. Everything is all good. But however, with the iPhones, like the iPhone 5 I just showed you, with that one, the purpose of you owning that phone is to just not to simply just have a phone you can enjoy talking to people on. It's more like if you own the iPhone now, then you pretty much are like superior to everyone. Like you're pretty much like high class and financial status, which that's something I really don't believe in. Like I don't believe technology really defines you much as a person. So, it just wouldn't really be right. But if you know an Android like the LG Stylo 3 that I use, to make phone calls with like my friends or whatnot, then pretty much you're basically looked at as inferior, poor, and weak. Yeah, I know, it really doesn't make any sense. Second reason, the old iPhone instability. Now, I really didn't notice at the time when I had the iPhone 3GS until I've realized it now, which I'm just going to get into right now, is that I'd say around when I first had it, from 2011 all the way down to 2015, that the phone battery was just completely normal. Like it would die from like 100% to 0% that way. But then something very weird had later occurred in 2016. Like, instead of it dying from like 100% to 0%, like how every normal phone does, it would die from 100% to 50%, which is incredibly weird because it's not supposed to be that way. And it really got down to the point in 2017 to where if I touched it right now, if I were to use the iPhone 3GS right now, I'd have to use that charger because if it's on 100%, and if I take that thing off the charger, it dies. Like, I don't know any type of technology that does that, which it really came to the point to where they really make the old phones slow down just to save up the battery. Basically that's Apple for them telling you switch out to a new iPhone, which I don't think that's the way to go for like a smartphone company to do. Like it's just not because many people like to cling onto their old phones. It's like seeing people walk around with their old flip phones or track phones. Like people like that stuff. So Apple, that's just not a really good way to go. Now, for reason number three, I know a lot of people hate this program, even myself at this point, iTunes. Now, in order for you to use like any Apple device to put music, photos, and videos, or whatever else the little Apple devices use, you have to have iTunes. That's right, iTunes, the little program where you get those annoying updates like how the Windows computer get. And it's the worst part about it is that it's a forced requirement. Just like how it's like a forced requirement for you to eat vegetables before you get ice cream, it's a forced requirement for you to use it to get photos, videos, music, and ringtones on or off your device. Which really gets annoying right now at that point because not everybody like me, who kind of almost never has really like time myself, can actually get to the computer, like the one I'm talking to, which is a Windows tablet, by the way, to actually be able to get the stuff on and off. Like if I'm running low on space or whatnot. they have other alternatives like this one I used called iFunbox, which is like an alternative just in case if you don't want to like use iTunes to get music and other files off there. But in order to use that, iTunes. So if you don't have the latest and it requires the latest versions of iTunes. Yeah, and that one kind of this newer version kind of sucks as well too because I tried deleting photos of my old iPhone 3GS and it just wouldn't come off. Like I don't get the actual reason why. And then their phone storage, like if you don't want to use iTunes, they have other apps. Like I've tried out several different file storage apps on there, but those wouldn't be so bad if you didn't have to use iTunes on that one and some that require you to use the internet. Yeah, there are even some that even require you to use the internet to get the files on and off your phone. I guess that's like small stuff like music, videos, photos, and various of the files. For ringtones, I guess that's like iTunes mainly. So yeah, and then you have the some of the God forbid iPhone users. Now, before I even get into that, the two perfect examples of some of the iPhone users that aren't going to be like the ones I would have mentioned are my aunt and one of my cousins that doesn't live in this state. I talked to my aunt about why I switched to the iPhone. I didn't really specifically say all the reasons in this video, but I told her that how I got tired of Apple's new direction, and she clearly understood. And she mentioned something about Google Duo, which I didn't think she'd actually, hear about it or even think about using it because she has like two iPhones and an iPad. She uses one iPhone to make regular phone calls to like friends and family, another iPhone where she runs like a jewelry business and there are customers that call to like place their orders or to actually buy jewelry from. And then she has the iPad, which she went from having an iPad mini to now having one of the bigger ones, and she uses that to take pictures of like some of the jewelry she's made and advertises it on both Instagram and Facebook to get customers' attention to go out and buy them. I didn't think so because sometimes when you have like a lot of Apple devices, you just get clinged onto everything Apple has. Even if the iPhone 7 has no headphone jack, which I found out the reason why. I mean, they wanted to make the phone waterproof, just like how other phone companies have did it first before Apple did. So that's that. And then my cousin explained her as to why I didn't have FaceTime, and she really didn't like the direction iPhones go either, but preferred it more because of their simple design and her FaceTime. I'm not like, really against her opinions on that. I mean, that's just on her. But some of the iPhone users, they be like how they don't like the camera quality of like the Androids, which is funny because most of the people who complain about it have never really like read the camera megapixels, which is the one thing I've actually did before picking out the LG Stylo 3 is that I read the camera megapixels of the phone, so that way I could just get a phone with some good photo quality. Because I don't think anyone would want to just get a phone with like some bad photo quality like that. And also, if they don't like the phone qualities of Androids, I mean, they don't ever stop making those normal cameras they see, like what they use for like photography and stuff. I mean, they never stop making those. If you have those cameras, I mean, Why wouldn't you use them? I mean, most of the YouTubers that you see on the YouTube channel actually use those instead of like normal phone cameras. Some of them actually use normal phone cameras. So yeah, but a good majority of them don't even use like phone cameras. They use like little cameras that you use like take pictures and stuff. Those. And then they don't like the fact that the text message bubbles are green, which that kind of makes no sense. And then it's the fact that how they don't like the fact that if someone has an Android phone, then they won't really think that they even read the message. It's either A, because their phone service, or B, they're doing something like everyone else, like actually working and getting their lives together just in case they screwed up and stuff like that, or they just need to potentially get their life together. Like that's the stuff I just don't seem to get. And so I guess that's like the three most common ones that I just mentioned. And the funniest thing about I know some people are going to think, well, what about FaceTime? I actually have nothing against FaceTime except the mere fact that how, that is not as universal, such as like Uvu, Skype, Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, Kik. What's another one? WhatsApp. Those are the ones I could just on top of my head where it's universal. And also the ones I mentioned earlier, Google Duo, is not as universal as the ones I just mentioned, to where you don't have an iPhone to actually make contact with like your friends or family. Where if you have an Android, you could just use those apps instead. Same thing with iPhone. Like if you can't make contact with someone who doesn't have an iPhone, then just use those instead of just having to depend on like FaceTime and iMessage. And the funniest thing about Google Duo, I don't even know why they even made that. Like, didn't they have like Google Hangouts? And it's funny that I just said Google Hangouts because my sister, I've only seen her like use it once. So that's like one person. That is it. And what's even bad is I never even tried that, Google Hangouts. Another complaint that I have about FaceTime is that I never really had a chance to buy it because a good majority of the people, it's not only they're busy, but one thing they know about me, and this kind of explains why I don't talk to many people very much, is that I don't like to disturb their peace at all. So, if I'm pretty sure most of you all don't even seem to care about that. So that's just me. And also my social bubbles on most of those social media sites I just mentioned, like Uvu and Skip, they pretty much are small because I suck on social media. So that's just the whole gist of it. So yeah. Oh wait, I kind of forgot to mention they also don't like the fact of how they don't believe that how Androids can actually get fixed. If they say that how Androids are always crashing and stuff like that. Which, by the way, Androids really are kicking it. Like they really do know what they're doing. So every update really doesn't disappoint like that. So yeah. But that's just the reasons as to why I left iPhone. I mean, hey, I don't know what else they'll be able to come up with, but it is what it has to be, man. But anyways, catch you all later. Till next time.